The way when you and Brandon just swapped positions last week, how did you think it went, at least in the first game when you swapped? I know you played guard before, so wasn't completely foreign, but Brandon had never played, at least in a game, at center. Just your thoughts of how that went.
You know, Brandon did a great job, you know, securing all those snaps in the game, and then finishing on his blocks. And as far as I'm concerned, guard was good. It was like riding a bike. So, you know, got out there, you know, it was a little surprising practice, but you know, whatever job that needs to be done.
Yeah. You know, I imagine, you know, you've been the center all season long. If anything, you guys on the offensive line have shown you're pretty versatile. You know, guys can play guard and tackle or lots of positions. Was that kind of hard to stomach when they said you're going to play guard this week, last week in practice? Was that kind of hard for you, or how did you kind of approach that?
You know, whatever your team calls on you, you have to step up into it. And, you know, guard isn't that different from center. It's a couple feet over. But, you know, you try to not be too hurt about it. We're still out there, still playing.
Yeah.
Still getting to hit some people, so it's still good time.
Did you say this offensive line is definitely versatile? Like I said, you've played both center and guard. You know, I know Hutch has played guard. Even Coach Chris said, I think Hutch can play pretty much every position, but maybe center. You know, guys have moved around a lot. Do you think versatility is maybe one of the strengths of this offensive line?
Yeah, versatility and depth. I mean, you've seen people move around the line. You've also seen a lot of different faces in different games, and you know, it allows for the competition on the line to remain at a high level, because at no point is your job safe or secure.
Right. Did you still make the calls, or did Brandon make the calls along the line, or did you was it a combo, or how did that kind of work, I guess?
You know, all five of us make calls each play.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that you've seen us sort of shore up as offensive line from these past 3 years. Is one thing I'd say is communication, and just knowledge of the offense.
Gotcha.
So on any given play, you'd probably hear 4 or 5 voices before the ball snapped.
Gotcha. You know, I know you've seen some good defensive fronts this year, Nebraska, TCU, and sure, in any case, every team has its challenges up front, but you know, Boise returns, I think, all of its front. You know, they were good last year. What makes them? It seems to me they're maybe one of the more physical fronts that maybe that gets overlooked with their team with so many other things. Would you agree with that, or what would you say makes at least their front and even their defense, for that matter, so good?
You know, that they're extremely well coached, and they got some great high motor guys. Some guys that have some great determination on film. You'll see, I mean, tremendous effort and a pretty good defensive scheme, and you know, those two are a dangerous combination for a defensive lineman.
Sure.
But you know, we're doing our best. We're in the film room. We're gonna have a good tempo this week in practice, so I'm excited to go up against these guys.
Yeah. Are they the best that maybe you've seen to this point? Is it fair, after at least from what you've seen so far? And remember, at least last year, I'm sure you'll see more film as this week goes on. But is it fair to say this maybe is the best defense or best front that you've seen?
Yeah, this is a very talented front. Good group of guys. Went against them last year. They played a very good game against them last year, unfortunately. And you know, they're probably up there in the top 3 defensive lines that we'll face this year.
Do you think, Nick, that, you know, like you played Nebraska, you know, played a good game against Nebraska, you know, against TCU you held a second half lead, and it was a close game heading into the fourth quarter, and still ended up as a close game. Are those confidence things going into, you know, facing a nationally ranked team like Boise on the road? Does that give this team confidence or belief you can play, or have you already gotten over that hurdle of like believing that no matter if it's the number 7 team or 77th team in the country that you guys can play it? Are you guys over that hurdle, or does that help, you know, give you a little bit more belief that you can play with these guys?
Yeah, you know, no one around here likes moral victories, but you know, I think it's that and just an increased tension in being in those games with those caliber teams and coming up short, not short by too much. So there's a little tension there, and I mean, hopefully we'll get the job done this Saturday.
Gotcha. Can I ask, it's Thanksgiving week. First, what's probably the one thing you're probably most thankful for?
You know, I'm thankful for my family and I guess the opportunity to play here at the university.
Gotcha. As part of the Thanksgiving meal, what's your favorite food of the Thanksgiving meal?
You know, turkey. People always say turkey. It's a little overrated. I'm going to say mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. Gotcha. All right, man.